What's going on, guys? JD from New York, back with your first Monday Night Raw review of the first show of 2013, January 7th. Now, Monday Night Raw. The first Monday Night Raws of the year equals a new start. A start last night that truly begins the road to WrestleMania and will certainly have implications on how things plan out for April. The first Monday Night Raw of the new year is always big, it's always exciting, and it always delivers. We've seen the cryptic Undertaker return promo where everyone thought it was Sting. A few years back, we got John Morrison versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the WWE Championship. That match was actually Match of the Year candidate at that time when Miz was WWE Champion. Raw delivers to begin the new year because they have to. They have to deliver. With the Royal Rumble this year possibly being one of the biggest events in the company's history, the WWE needs to deliver a great show. Reports are Vince McMahon is going to have a stacked show on Monday Night Raw from now until WrestleMania on every Monday night show. That's the way it should be every Monday night. Not just because it's a new year, not because of WrestleMania, but because WWE needs to deliver these types of shows. With the lack of competition in wrestling right now, TNA is not a viable threat to WWE. Ring of Honor is nowhere even close to being a threat to WWE. WWE has no competition. The only reason why they go all out for this time of year is because they know eyes from all around the globe are going to be watching their show and dissecting their product, and they need to look good. After WrestleMania, they usually go back to delivering boring, uninspired programming, but for us fans, let's sit back, enjoy the ride, enjoy that ride on the road to WrestleMania. It's always an enjoyable ride this time of year. Now, Vince McMahon said we were going to be talking after last night's show. What exactly will I be talking about after this show last night? Yes, The Rock is back. Yes, it's exciting because we all love WWE. Punk and Ryback had a TLC match for the WWE Championship, which you rarely see on free TV. And John Cena fought Dolph Ziggler in a great match last night to open the show. But what exactly will we be talking about today? The absolute filler of a second hour that did nothing but drag the show down? Kofi Kingston being knocked out in 10 seconds by The Big Show after a great push, one of the best pushes of his career. Sheamus jokes, clowning around with 3MB. I mean, these are the shocking moments that we were told about. We're going to be talking about by the water cooler at work the next day. Where's that shocking moment we were told about, Vince? Raw to me was just like any other week. After being all excited to finally get the holidays over, to get a fresh start, the show seemed to be the same as the usual garbage they give us every week, except The Rock is back with his kiddie jokes and uninspired promos. Now, the most important part of the show, obviously, was CM Punk defending the WWE Championship against Ryback, because this match was going to have implications on what would take place at the Royal Rumble. Alright? The match should have happened last month at the TLC pay-per-view, but the WWE opted to do a storyline angle where Ryback injured Punk. Punk would be on the shelf with a slight knee injury, keeping him off TV for a month, rather having him come back healthy for the more important part of the year, which began last night. The match itself was brutal, alright? And everything you would expect from Ryback, chair shots, table shots, ladder spots, you name it, it was done. I thought at several points in the match that CM Punk was going to re-injure himself, either by Ryback being incredibly stiff, or by one of the few dangerous spots that Punk opted to take here. It was in the back of my mind that he could possibly put the match at the Royal Rumble in jeopardy. One thing I hate is that WWE goes to commercial in the middle of a championship match. That's the first thing I'll say. Especially in a title match. We missed the first attempts by both men to go for the belt hanging above by climbing the ladder. I hate that. You never see UFC go to a commercial in the middle of a match. It's usually during intermission, during the rounds or something. But they never go to break in the middle of a match when they're on Fox. I hate that. And that needs to stop. I really wish that WWE would take that into consideration. You have a WWE Championship match, which we rarely see on Monday Night Raw, and a TLC match of all matches, and you're going to go to commercial in the middle of a match? Lazy. I just hate that. The match itself was very entertaining, but the later portion of the match was really predictable, as I know the Shield would find some way to interfere in this match. Punk had Ryback in the corner ready to go for a bulldog, and Ryback just tossed Punk over the top rope, and Punk landed through a table with a nasty fall, and I mean nasty. One that actually cut Punk's right side completely open. They didn't show it on TV, but if you look hard enough, you'll see it. The crowd went crazy. Ryback went outside to retrieve a ladder, set it up in the ring, proceeded to climb up. Everyone thought that this was it. He's finally going to win the WWE Championship. WWE was going to pull a swerve and have Ryback be the new champion. But you could have seen it coming from a mile away. Instead of doing their entrance through the crowd, the lights went off for about 10 seconds and then came back on, and there you see the Shield hanging off the ladder with Ryback trying to stop him from grabbing the belt. He fought them off the best he could, but the Shield was just too much. 3-on-1, they dragged Ryback to the outside, where there was a table set up, and underneath the table was part of the steel steps. Their signature 3-man powerbomb through the table. It looked completely nasty as Ryback was completely taken out of the match. Punk slowly climbed the ladder, pulled the belt down, and retained the WWE Championship. Tomorrow, or today rather, Punk will be on day 415. The right man won. I've been saying it for months now. The simplest way to book this entire match, this entire scenario, is the best way. They went the simple route. It made sense dating back to Raw 1000. Rock announces he will be challenging for the WWE title. Punk attacked Rock. Rock went away. Rock comes back, the superhero trying to stop the rebel Punk, who has held the title longer than anyone in the modern era. What does make sense is having Ryback, or what doesn't make sense rather, is having Ryback lose yet again while challenging for the WWE title. What does it do for the man's character? Well, obviously he looked strong in this match. I will give him that. The ending protected him because of the 3-on-1 attack by the Shield, but as for the Shield, something really needs to be done with them. They can't be doing the same shit over and over again, the shit that they're doing now. It will lead to nothing, and it's already becoming stale. But their involvement was the logical choice here. Ryback's character, fans are still going to cheer him, fans are going to still, eat that shit up, feed me more. But as of now, Ryback is done with the WWE Championship. That's it. That's my pick for the Rumble. I really do like the Rumble this year. I fully expect Ryback to go into the Rumble, destroy everything in sight, and go on to win the match, becoming *1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's it. That's my prediction. Like I said, I really do like the Rumble this year, that we don't know what's going to happen. I've heard some names being dropped right now as winners of the Royal Rumble, Sheamus, Ryback being one of them. But nobody knows, and I like that. Last year's Rumble, or the last several Rumbles, have been absolutely predictable, to the point where it's sickening. This year, I'm going with Ryback. Maybe Lesnar comes in, wins it. I don't even know who's in the Rumble. But right now, my pick, as of today, is Ryback. Punk was then confronted by Matt Striker in the locker room, and Punk mentioned his famous pipe bomb in Vegas. He said that he was going to go out to the ring, drop another pipe bomb, and that's exactly what he did. He came out to the ring, took the WWE logo off the mic, threw it down to the ground, which was great. He said the word pipe bomb has been misused in the last year and a half. Punk said a pipe bomb is the truth. It's honesty. Something most people lack. Punk also said that people think that he's just a guy who bitched and moaned and then turned his back on the people. But no, that's a lie. He meant everything he said, and then he left. He could have left, but he didn't. He didn't. He just captured the WWE Championship from John Cena. He created this persona because he knows people like to cheer the anti-hero. Punk said no one has been able to gain success without an audience, which is true. Punk said that if he was around during Bruno Sammartino's era, that he would be WWE Champion for 30 years. And this is where it gets interesting. Wrestling once a month in MSG is easy compared to wrestling as much as he does. Punk said that he was successful in spite of the audience. There was no laughing, there was no cracking jokes, there was no way for The Rock to come out now, at this point, and win a war of words with Punk. Because as far as I'm concerned, Punk just swept The Rock underneath the rug with 5 minutes of his promo last night. That's how great it was. Easily on par with his first pipe bomb promo in Vegas before he won the WWE Championship in Chicago at Money in the Bank from John Cena. The Rock then came out immediately mentioning Punk's 414 days as champ, but the number he should be worried about is 20. Because in 20 days, his reign as champion is over. I don't know what it is about The Rock, but I'm honestly over his act. I'm tired of his act. It's tired, boring, all the one-liners and the candy ass. I mean, if you look at The Rock in the days of old, during the Attitude Era, he looked energized, he looked more vicious with his one-liners, more funny, hilarious. I don't know what it is, but or if it's just me, but it feels tired. Punk didn't look intimidated, and his facial expressions were right on the money here. And I know this is just week 1 of their build to their match at the Royal Rumble verbally, and more will be said next week at the 20th anniversary show, but I feel The Rock could have stepped it up a little bit better. This isn't John Cena, guys. This is CM Punk. Cena stepped up his game with The Rock last year before WrestleMania. Now it's time for The Rock to step up his game with CM Punk. Otherwise, he's going to get destroyed verbally. The beginning of the show started off typical John Cena garbage. John Cena being all happy, cracking jokes, having the crowd in attendance start a wave going around and around 3 times. You know, AJ fucking making one-liners about penis jokes, you know, that you probably heard here in like 3rd grade, 4th grade. I mean, the result of this match between Cena and Ziggler, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. The match was actually better than their match at TLC. Great back-and-forth action between the two. Both of them work incredibly well together. Cena kicked out of everything Dolph had done to him. Everything. And being a fan of the product, this is just annoying to me. It reminds me of Hulk Hogan back when I was a child. I hated it. You know? He kicked out of a DDT. A devastating DDT at that. He kicked out of a zigzag. He kicked out of a super kick. He even kicked out of Big E Langston's finishing maneuver. Langston came down and delivered his finisher, which looked brutal. And Cena even kicked out of that. I don't like the Super Cena bullshit. WWE shoves it down our throats. A lot of people say this is exactly what's wrong with the WWE product right now. The way Cena looked last night. What are the chances he wins the Rumble after news dropped of a rumored Cena versus Rock Part 2 match at WrestleMania? What are the odds of him winning the Royal Rumble after seeing this fucking display last night? I hope it isn't that easy for Cena, as the Royal Rumble needs to go to a guy the WWE can build up and make look legit. Anyway, at one point during this match also, the original ref was knocked out, and that's when Big E hit his finisher and Ziggler went for the pin. A second ref came down, and this is where my logic just comes into play. I'm just shooting that out there for you guys. I don't understand how Langston can interfere and the second ref wouldn't disqualify Ziggler. Did the second ref not see Langston come down and interfere from backstage? I mean, it's illogical, but this is WWE. In the end, Cena kicked out of everything, like I said, hit the Attitude Adjustment, and pinned Dolph for the win. Great match, but Super Cena is just sickening. Rhodes Scholars versus Team Hell No. Decent tag match, but nothing overly exciting. I'm starting to think that there aren't any other tag teams. I mean, I feel like I'm seeing the same 2 teams over and over again. What happened to the Primetime Players? What happened to Primo and Epico? What happened to Mysterio and Sin Cara? I know Mysterio's out for personal reasons. I know Sin Cara is injured. But I feel like WWE is back to square one with tag teams now. Rhodes Scholars with the win after Cody Rhodes hit Crossroads on Bryan. And I will tell you, it's nice that the number 1 contenders pin the champions, which is pretty much going to lead them to getting a title shot and probably capture the titles. I'm tired of Team Hell No. I think that they really run its course, and it's time for something new for both men. Bryan needs to be back in the singles division fighting for major championships, and Kane is still entertaining where he can still mean something to the mid-card with the right feud. Randy Orton versus Heath Slater. I don't know why these two are fighting or why Orton is bickering with RMB. This is simply just WWE trying to keep Randy Orton relevant on TV before his eventual heel turn. I mean, did these guys even stand the chance against Orton? No. They all received RKOs from Orton. Obviously means Orton was victorious here. I like the 3MB members. I just think that, you know, like I said when they first appeared, that the entire gimmick is just stupid and childish. I wish WWE would grow up with their gimmicks. I do think they can be successful in the tag team division where I think they belong with a possible tag team title run. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. Santino versus Wade Barrett. I don't believe Wade Barrett is wasted on Raw to fight this scrub. Santino was terrible and Wade Barrett hit his bullhammer finisher for the win. Barrett is great. Future world champion of 2013. Just remember I said that. Cesaro versus Khali. Absolute garbage. I mean, Khali is on my TV for what reason? Why is Hornswoggle on my TV? Why is Natalya, a great female wrestler, paired with these two losers? Waste of 5 minutes. That could have went more towards The Rock and Punk to close the show. Cesaro is great. He needs something meaningful, and this isn't it. I just hope this bullshit ends soon, and by that I mean, like, today. I hate it. Sheamus versus Jinder Mahal. More throwaway garbage. Sheamus is just disgusting when he acts all funny, making jokes, acting like a clown. He isn't funny. I don't care to see him act funny. He's Irish. He likes to drink. He likes to kick people's ass. You know, he should be kicking ass every night, not cracking jokes. He needs to be more serious. He's coming off a loss to the Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship. His demeanor should be, and I mean going into the Royal Rumble to win the entire fucking thing like he did last year and go on to WrestleMania. That's the kind of attitude he needs to show. No, he wants to talk about singing karaoke with 3MB. Sheamus bro kicks everybody, gets the white noise on Jinder Mahal. 1, 2, 3. You know what the deal is there. Big Show versus Kofi Kingston. Big Show defeated Kofi Kingston in 10 seconds. Garbage. Garbage. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed my review. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so. JD will be back with news and rumors this week, guys. Alright? I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.